Hey everyone, welcome back to the holler. It's Mike again with Daggone Rain, and I'm sitting under the roof of the equipment shed here. So it is raining again, like it has most of the day. The mud is not let up, and I don't foresee any letting up on that probably until May. Pigs are together. Boris and Pee Wee, I put them together Friday evening. The snow that we had, it made Boris's little shelter collapse. So instead of trying to get it, find more rope and get it put back up and just going with that temporary thing, I was going to open them up Saturday anyways. So I just went ahead and removed the panel in between them and turned them loose together Friday night. They've done fine. They've done absolutely fine. Of course, Boris being the one that's in the intact male, he's showing that he is the intact male. And, there was a couple days of that, but otherwise they're doing really good. Pee Wee's much calmer. He seems to be more content. And I was actually able to reach over and scratch Pee Wee on his back while I was out there a while ago feeding him and everything. So I think he needed that companionship. But the plan is to get them moved Saturday up to the upper paddock. And I'm about to do the deed on these two boys here myself because I'm getting tired of the aggressiveness with the feed with these two big barrows. Hopefully the second weekend of February, we're going to do them, but they're just, I don't know what changed. Honest to goodness, I don't know what changed with them. Same feed. I even increased their feed. There's feed left over, but they are just getting so much more aggressive with the females. And I don't know if that's maybe it's because of Boris being, getting to be a little bit more mature as to why they're doing what they're doing. I don't know. I'm not an expert on pig behavior. I'm a good expert on pig taste. I know what they taste like, and I know I like it. Anyways, so the plan is to move the boys. I got to set a post out here, put a disconnect on it, and run a jumper across, and we're good to go. We're going to move them Saturday. Hopefully that's the plan, to get them up in the upper paddock. And then I want to try to get the boys, the two big boys, into that pen. Excuse me, it's to get them separated. Because like I said, I hope to be able to do the deed in the next couple of weeks with them, and I can get them separated, and that way we're not having the contention that we're having over the feed with the two girls as well. So the plans with everything else, we're hoping also to start trying to get finished up on the lower paddock down here for the girls, so we can have that done before March. That way they'll do that. The USDA will come in and do that spring redevelopment out here for me. And also got to work on getting everything straightened up and cleaned up out here for where the greenhouse is going to go. And I've done a lot of reading. I've done a lot of YouTube surfing about off-grid solar systems and everything. And I had initially intentions of doing like a 4 kilowatt off-grid system for my building out here, and just putting it on there, making that my main electric source for the building, and use it as an umbilical for the house if natural gas and electric grid would go down. Because we've got the 22 kilowatt home standby generator on natural gas, and it'll run the entire house. You can run every appliance and everything in that house, have every light on, run the AC, run the furnace, do everything on that one generator at the same time. Not that we would ever do that, and we've not done that. I mean, we are a little bit more frugal when that thing's running. That way we're not, overpressing it. But when I kept looking at that system out there, I thought that'd be really good to use for the building, and also, for maybe a couple lights in the greenhouse, and maybe, a couple fans down there if need be. But if they do the well, if we get approved for the well development, you're looking a minimum of 100 feet in West Virginia. You're like a minimum of 100 feet to get good water. And it's a 240 volt system. The pump runs on 240 volts. And if you have to go with solar and do a solar pump, you get a lot less flow and a lot less pressure from it. And my plan is if we do get approved for well development, that where the well is, so if the well's right out here where the building is and the house is and everything else, and it's right in that general area, out to where I want to run the last hydrant off of that well is almost a mile back on the property. And I don't have a problem incurring that cost and doing that work to do it myself, because, like I said, I'll rent a trenching machine and I'll have that daggone trench cut in a day. And then I'll just buy the hydrants, set the hydrants here and here where I need them. That way I can have, water to my chickens, to my pigs, to my orchard, to my other pig pen out here. I got the spring down there for the other pigs. I can run water to the second field out here where I run my chickens, and it's going to be a winter sacrifice area next year for the pigs. And then on out to my backfield, and I've not showed you guys that backfield yet, to where I hopefully will have animals later on as well. But I want that water access all the way out through there. And with a solar pump clear out here, it's just not going to run me the volume and the pressure that I would want all the way out there. So we've got a ground transformer here for the house, and I still have a node, or whatever you want to call it, a hookup off of the one side that I can run electric to elsewhere on the property. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is go ahead and just plan on running underground electric right out to the building, use the building as my main setup there, and then run down, and hopefully, if the well's in the area, to the well, and then down to the greenhouse. And because eventually we want to put a garage up as well, and that way we can have that electric to the garage too. So we'll do what we got to do. But anyways, so solar is good, I guess, but like I said, just looking at the reliability of it and the efficiency, I mean, you're looking at best like 37% on a solar panel. And when you've got the draw of like a well pump and stuff like that, and you get like these days where it's cloudy, it's overcast, low sun days, and I mean, it's been like this for so long now. I'm just so seasonal affective disorder is a real thing. Let me tell you, what they refer to as cabin fever. And not that I'm promoting any kind of gray blah feelings, but damn, I'm ready for some sunshine and some blue skies. But we would lose so much during this time of year for that, and I don't want that to happen. I would I enjoy and appreciate the convenience and the comforts of grid power, and I would like to have that as close as I possibly could with solar as well. So I'm not looking to go off grid at any point in time yet, because I think it has a long ways to go before it becomes that efficient. And yes, I know there's other channels out there that do off grid, and they're 100% off grid, and they do this and they do that. But for someone like me with a full-time job, trying to keep up with my work, my family, this stuff, as my source of income, as my source for, paying for our mortgage and our land and everything like that, I can't afford to put $80,000 or more into an off-grid system. And by the time I get it paid off, you're going to have to replace the batteries probably at least once or twice during that time period. And within 20 years, you're probably going to have to replace all your panels. So the payback there, it's just not there for me yet. You can try to convince me otherwise, but like I said, everything that I've read, everything that I've watched, and everything that I've looked up about it, the payoff is just not there. And yeah, I know there's a lot of how-to videos and stuff on there, but I'll tell you, I lack the confidence in thinking that I could do a whole big system like that. I mean, if you go 48 panels system with all the batteries and everything like that, and a tie in it, no, I'm not ready to put that kind of expense up, and I'm not ready to jump into that, because like I said, you do something wrong, you fry your whole system, you're out all that money. No, I'll stick with the grid for now. And if things go south, well, we'll just face it as it comes, because the big thing is in the cold weather, I can heat the house with the wood stove, so I'm not worried about that. I can cook with the wood stove. I can boil water, heat water, wash clothes, and everything else, and we could survive. But I like the grid, and I like the standby generator backup as well. I do have a gasoline generator if need be, but once gasoline's going, gasoline's going. So I'll rely on my dry stores, my canned goods, my gardening, my critters, and God before I go spending all that money on an off-grid system that's probably not going to perform to my expectations, and not going to provide my family much in the way of reliable electricity and power, especially during the gray months that we have here during this time of year in West Virginia. So that's the plans anyways. Like I said, we're going to move the pigs this weekend, hopefully get the big boys moved between then and the second weekend in February, and get them out of here, and then focus on getting that lower paddock done. And once I get that done, then we're set for the spring development, and then I can focus on getting the area over here, the mountain of wood chips, moved, and get it over here, and get that area ready for a greenhouse sometimes this summer, I would hope. But there's where we're at. The knee's doing better. I've got a little bit more than 90-degree bend now, but it's still got some swelling in, and I can still hobble along pretty good. Not near the difficulty that I had previously. Second Lyme test coming up in a couple weeks, just to verify. We discussed going ahead and starting the antibiotics, but if it's not Lyme, I don't want to do an antibiotic run if I don't have to, because that kind of screws up your whole gut microbe and your gut flora and everything like that, and puts you in a position where if you don't need it, you can open yourself up to other problems, and I don't want to do that. So I'll risk it you know, it's still early on anyways. If it does come back positive in a couple weeks, to go ahead and effectively treat it with, you know, little to no symptoms and stuff like that for the long term. But we'll face that as it comes. Anyways, I'm hoping for some drier weather. I'm just hoping for it to get cold enough to freeze this nasty stuff up. But of course, we got a couple cold days coming up where it's probably going to get cold enough that it'll probably just freeze the top layer, make it crunchy and crispy on top and soggy and mushy down below like it normally does. But it is what it is. We'll work towards it. Anyways, folks, get those dry stores put away. Get that canned meat put away. Get those canned goods put away. Get yourself at least a minimum of 3 months of food put away. 3 months minimum of good shelf stable preserved food, and water, or at least the ability to sterilize, purify water, sanitize water. Those Alexa Pure filters are still available on campingworld.com. Check them out. They're great. They're absolutely wonderful for what we use them for filtering our tap water, because it smells like a hot swimming pool every time you turn the tap water on. But I can come right out here right now and scoop mud water out of a mud puddle, run it through that filter, and drink it right out the other side and not worry about anything. So good system, good filter system to look at. Also be able to do some water storage on the side. But you know, you want 3 months minimum. God knows what's coming with everything, the escalation that's going on in Ukraine, with Germany and the U.S. now sending tanks over there. Putin's already put the line in the sand, and it's hard to say what's going to come next. And with the unpredictable weather and everything else that we're facing, the high cost of food, the high cost of everything else that, you know, I addressed a couple videos back, you got to be ready. You got to have that security there. Like I said, if everything goes to crap, you've got food. If everything doesn't go to crap and we all come out on the other end smelling like roses in a turd bowl, you still got a bunch of food. That's the best thing in the world right there. Because I said early on in this, and when I created this channel, I said early on, the last thing I ever want to do is look at my kids and my kids say, "Daddy, I'm hungry," and say, "Sorry, I don't have any food put away." Man, I can't. Nope. And don't rely on hunting and fishing as those sources when it happens, because everybody else is going to be hunting and fishing. So, you know, you have to take reality one step at a time and say, the reality of this is that I'm competing with everybody else who isn't prepared. So I need to be prepared otherwise. And that's it. Get prepared, stay prepared. Take care, folks. God bless.